Alright, this is the topside tour of the Lazy Lady. Things that need to be done. That box is storage for extension cords and water hoses and things, and it's kind of rotted. That's coming off. The bottom line. It's coming off. It's getting rebuilt, changed. I don't know how. It's the top of the cabin. Those are the horns. This whole thing is getting taken apart, and it's rebuilt. I may change the whole shape of it. I don't know. Depends how much I got to tear off it. Those are the mast and boom for the dinghy. It's right there, and that you can row it. I have the kids rowing it right now, but you can sail it too. You walk down. Here's your two waste holding tanks, and that's fuel. On the other side there's fuel also. You come through this little gate, which is rotten, and it's not really rotten, it's just water's leaking through, so I got to take it apart and figure out why. Those dock boxes have water coming through. Got to probably remove them. That just sits there, but it has cushions and the ends pick up, kind of like a big recliner. It's kind of nice. That's another dock box. That's a big canopy that you can roll out to block the sun. Near the davits for the dinghy. And this home seat's kind of cool. The cushions are for it inside, but that cutout is for when you're in bad weather or when you're maneuvering and cranking the wheel around. You've got something to kind of hold you in place instead of getting flopped around. And when you're out and about, there's a kind of the seat. The rest of the seat goes in there, and the cushion goes on the whole thing. Those are the controls. This is the upper helm. You come through here into the pilot house, and below me is the engines, which I've had videos on working on them. This is the forward or the lower helm. You got your wheel, you got your forward and reverse, your throttle, starter. This basically uses the alternator to charge the entire battery bank instead of just using the charger that plugs into the dock. That's your breaker panel with all your major systems, ship to shore radio. That's the compass. It's kind of important. That's your depth finder. This is a Raytheon Raymarine chart plotter. Pretty much everything you need to know about where you are is in that thing. But unfortunately, when this headliner was put in, the wire was left unhooked, so it doesn't actually work right now. When I was talking about the box is rotted, that's an example of why this whole thing's got to be ripped up. And over in that corner is the same thing. Those are all the cushions for outside. This drops down to make it a bunk. This is a horrible little pull-out couch that's very heavy and not in great shape, but it still works. But I don't know what to do with it because it doesn't fit out the door. So I'm just dealing with it right now, and every time you got to go work on the engine, you've got to slide it back and forth on the carpet so that you can access any one of the three panels that you need, but you can never open all three at once because of the couch. You come down this companionway, you've got a little stateroom with two bunks in it, drawers underneath them, the window. You figure out what kind of fish. You got a bathroom with a light. You got a shower. You got sink, little storage, bathroom, toilet. Not much to say about it, but it works. All the floors come out for access to everything, the drive shaft is right underneath us right now. There's an air conditioning unit under that cabinet, and then the plumbing for it is under the floor. That's a wood stove, and it works, but the insurance company wants it out because they seem to have some kind of problem with wood boats with wood-burning stoves on them. I don't know. It's been there for 50 years and the boat hasn't burned, but so be it. On any boat, whether it's wood or fiberglass, you need to put fans on, moving air all over the place. Otherwise, it will just turn into one big black moldy mess, which is not super appealing. Galley table, benches. You've got a bunk under that bunk, and the other bunk are two 300-gallon water tanks, 400-gallon water tanks, and there's another 400-gallon tank up forward under the floor, so you can have a total of 1,200 gallons of fresh water. But two can sleep on them. Two smaller kids can sleep on these benches. One kid likes to sleep on across the back. Don't really know why, but so be it. Got a sink, got hot and cold running water. Pick this up, and you got your stove. You got an oven. Got a microwave and a toaster oven. You got a crummy little fridge that really doesn't have any space. Plenty of cabinet room for everything. Stow a lot of food in this thing. And like I said, the floors all come up. So if you were going a super long voyage, under the table, under that step, under the floors, you could probably put 1 million pounds of Spam on this thing and make sure you didn't starve. That's about it with that. These are two little electric heaters that I use in the winter time. Probably gonna toss them in favor of something bigger because I will not have the wood stove next winter. Fire extinguishers are pretty important on the boat. They should be pretty much everywhere you go. Also should have a complement of tools in case things break. And right now they are behind that. They're in those cabinets, these tools. That stuff out there is all junk and stuff that's going in the truck and going home because it's not needed here right now. All right, now we got, I know that I mentioned those are chart drawers. That's where you keep your charts and junk and stuff for, navigation. That's the chart table. It's big enough to lay the charts out. It's my coffee. It's real yummy. We got a lot of field glasses and binoculars, so when kids that get bored quick, we go out on the boat, go for a ride. They all really enjoy looking out at the scenery with the binoculars and stuff they see every day, like cars or somebody walking their dog. They shout it out and everybody looks. This is a forward stateroom. It's called the V-berth because it's shaped like a V. In front of those doors is the anchor chain locker. So you've got, I forget what it is, 50 foot of chain and then 250 feet of rope. But it all kind of piles up in there. I'm not going to climb in there, but that's where that is. You've got storage, you've got shelves, you've got another bathroom, and another shower. Everything kind of works as it should. And now for Brian Perendy. He's a good guy. He's got a good channel. Does a lot of different things. Everything from worm farming and chickens to riding a snowmobile on frozen lakes in the middle of winter. But he's a really good guy. I really like him. Really like to cross paths and have a cup of coffee and hang out together sometime. But he was asking about the lazy lady, and I said, I'll tell you who the lazy lady's namesake is when I get the boat cleaned up, because it was a wreck. But years and years ago, prior to the Vietnam War, my uncle, who I got the boat from, was a navigator and a frogman in the United States Navy, and he was on a salvage tug, and he crossed the Pacific Ocean dragging stuff back to either, Midway or San Diego to the Navy yards, going down, and they'd blow something up, and then he would have to go down and take pictures of what the damage was. I mean, you watched nuclear explosions, then they dragged the ships out there to blow them up, and then they dragged back whatever was left so they could examine them. They did all sorts of cool stuff. But in about 1960-61, he was in Saigon. I don't remember the reason they were there. They're in Saigon, and somebody was haggling over some junk in some shop, and the price kept going up and down, and add this and then take money off, and add that and put money on and subtract that. And I guess he wanted to get going, so we just grabbed this picture and said, how much, throw her in and you got a deal. The guy said, okay. And then he said, so here's the lazy lady from Saigon in about 1960. And he said, who is she? And the story is that the guy said, she's a lazy lady. She's so lazy she doesn't even wear clothes. So I guess that stuck with him, and at some point he figured one day I'll have a boat with a fitting name of the Lazy Lady. And thus this boat got the name the Lazy Lady. And she is the original. And somewhere in his travels in Indonesia or wherever the stop was, he got that thing, that little statue, and it's glued to the countertop. So I'm not really sure what to do about that until such time as I tear it out or do something, because it's marine epoxied on and it's not coming off. But that's the original Lazy Lady, and this is the ship, the Lazy Lady. So hope I didn't bore you all to tears. And check out Brian Perendy. He's a good guy. And I hope everybody's curiosity is satisfied. You all have a great day.